be here. I mostly support this bill. It's got some good changes. It's got the good handle bill, you know, that it needs sewn handles. I strongly support that. I'm not going to go through the discussion with Senator Connolly again. I think that there are some behavioral changes that could happen with incentivizing reusable bags. I also know that there are some stores that already charge for bags, and I will leave it at that. I you know, let you decide that how you do. I just know that ultimately we're going to have to do something about reusable. The one thing I do have concerns about, and this is more on general principle than maybe necessarily in any one particular bill, is I am a firm believer that preemption is not a good thing. I am, you know, my study of democracy over the last 40 years, things should devolve to the most local group that can make the right decision, you know, and so, you know, there are some things you decide nationally, some things you decide by state. The national constitution says, you know, you devolve things to the state except if they're specifically in the federal government. Rhode Island constitution is different than that. But I just really feel like local communities should be able to do something stronger than the bigger entities if they so choose. And I always worry when we take away that democratic right from local communities to do something stronger. And so, you know, it's really a tough one because, you know, some people say we need a statewide standard. Businesses already face a different terrain in every place. Every store has a slightly different mix of goods that they hold. There's no reason that a company says, you know, I need a statewide. They could, as if they were a chain, decide on their own that they would go to a stronger standard on their own. They don't have to be restricted by, you know, what the law says. They could do something even more stringent and cleaner. So I think that we should let local communities have more say. And this is, you know, not only plastic bags, but, you know, citing power plants was something that really bothered me, is that, you know, the people of Burrillville didn't get to vote on that power plant. I mean, eventually it got defeated, but, you know, I've worked on cases where, you know, when something big happens, communities have to have a right to say no. So I will leave it at that.
Thank you. Do any of the subjects have questions? Yes.
So I'm curious, what, if you have an example of a way in which a single community would go further than what's being done in this bill?
They could impose the 5-cent fee, let's say.
Okay.
Or they could say that the handles have to be, you know, something different. You know, they could do something that, you know, was says, you know, if you're selling recyclable bags, that it's got to be cloth. I mean, they could do any of those things, and I'm not sure which ones they would do. But the issue of you know, and it was much more of an issue in this case with the handle issue last year. But I think it's a general principle that devolution to the smallest entity that can make the decision properly is always a good thing as a way of strengthening democracy.
Does this bill prevent individual communities from voting?
It does. That's what a preemption does in this state.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, Greg, thank you for being here. I know how much you're involved in so many environmental issues all the time. And I appreciate your statement about the preemption issue. And I understand that. I just feel that because we had the bill last year and it was thoroughly vetted and so forth, and we really worked hard to make it really fashion after one of the most stringent ordinances in the state. And just like what Topher was talking about, the paper bag fee, I think the way the bill is now, I think it's been really vetted and we should move forward. And then, who knows? In another year or two, we may revisit it. and talk about those options again. But I think at this point in time, I think we really need to move forward. I just think time is of the essence, and we really should get something done.
I actually absolutely agree. I just, use my time in front of the committee to remind them of some principles of democracy, knowing that I'm probably not going to affect how you write this bill this year, and I'm fine with that.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg, for your comments. I agree with the chairwoman. I always appreciate your comments or feedback. I know you're incredibly involved and understand the nuance of so many issues. In working on this bill last year, the conversation of preemption was discussed very heavily and very thoroughly. And I think that it is something that I think we need to be cautious about, and I think we need to be thoughtful. As a state legislator, I obviously think that there are certain things that we should be approaching from a state perspective. And when I was prior to being elected, when I was a grassroots organizer, I definitely appreciated the opportunity to make that local impression. And I think the language in this bill around the preemption is fairly narrowly tailored to the issue in front of us around reusable bags, around plastic bags, and around paper bags. And I think that was done very intentionally, so as not to paint too broad of a brush in preempting around, let's say all things plastic, or, I think that's important that the committee, to recognize that the committee and the Senate President were very thoughtful in approaching that and trying to balance the needs and the concerns about the uniformity issues with also trying to advance the strongest possible bill that we could get. But I do think it is that issue of is kind of raising its head a lot in a lot of environmental issues as a way to try to kind of undermine progress. And so I do think it is an important conversation, and I appreciate you narrowing in on that aspect of the bill.